I thought, since I've been posting long paragraphs on Facebook for years now, maybe the message will come across a little bit better if I go ahead and just do the video. I mean, you seem to be in the age now of everybody is going to other people's opinions for opinions. So now the battlefield of information has become everybody just kind of listening to each other and sharing different videos and different opinions. And we've got a lot of independent type journalists who have sprung up out of nowhere, thousands really, that are all over the place, all over YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, to share information and to share what they think is the truth. So the problem with that is that Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of them basically made backroom deals years ago to incrementally implement the shadow banning and censorship of those who do sprout up and start sharing truth that they do not want out. See, these people are pay-for-play corporate controllers now of our platforms of free speech. See, the platforms of free speech have now been, compromised. We cannot trust that our free speech is actually reaching the people who are allegedly on our friends lists. We don't know that it's showing up in those feeds for people to see. They're able to, with the technology they have, utilize the AI to keyword recognize and trigger censorship and banning. They've been doing it with copyright on YouTube from the beginning. Think about Shazam, right? It notices, it hears the keywords, and it can red flag things. So not only do they have, admittedly, do they have rooms full of people manually censoring a lot of people all over the internet that are saying things they don't want to get out. But they have algorithms and they have artificial intelligence. This is all public information. And don't believe me, go look it up, man. Dude named can't remember his first name, but his last name is Epstein, coincidentally enough. He's actually a liberal, admittedly. Did congressional hearings about how they ran all these different computer studies on how Google shadow bans and censors things, and they regulate the suggested results that you see when you start typing in a search. The things that pop up below there are suggested, and those are controlled because they take out, and they did the tests. They did the test, and they compared it between Google and Bing and Start Page and DuckDuckGo and all those different search engines to see if Google was any different than the rest of them. And they are. They suggest what they want you to see. They don't suggest what they don't want you to see. And then once the results pop up, they control where and we already know you can pay Google for more prioritized results. So the point is that our platforms are controlled. They're controlling what people can see. And the liberal left, the globalists, they're all on the same side. They are against free speech. They are against conservatism. They are against individualism. They are against, patriotism and American sovereignty. And these people have been in a plan, an agenda for years now to basically globalize America and have it be part of more of a bigger global plan. It was called Agenda 21. Now it's called Agenda 2030 because there was a little bit of a delay when Trump got elected on their little plan. But they want to open up all the borders. They want Canada, Mexico, America to all be borderless and open. And what happens at that point? America's sovereignty goes away. people from all over the world go through Mexico and come up through our borders, and we lose our security. So the point of the matter is that we've had politicians and rigged elections for years and years and years that have been either blackmailed or paid to be part of this plan to globalize America and reduce our rights incrementally, because if they do it too fast, they know what happens in America with 150 million plus gun owners. We're gonna stand up for ourselves. But through the last few presidents, we've been desensitized to really what's going on. People went to sleep under Obama. Everybody thought, oh, first black president, can't nothing be corrupt. You know, what happened to America's so racist and all this stuff? Well, we elected a black president. And you think that no white people voted for him? You think that there's half of America that's racist? Or you think half of that half voted for Obama and then voted for Trump because Obama didn't do shit? So Trump threatens the plan. Okay? He threatens the plan. He threatens the globalization. He threatens all the different rigged elections. He threatens all the different departments, from the FBI, CIA, NSA, DNI, the Congress, the Senate, the House of Representatives, the judicial branch, the Supreme Court, all of them. He threatens the rigging of all of that. He threatens the lopsided, left-leaning plants that they've got in all of these different agencies. Under Obama, you had, and there was a list done by I can't remember his name right now, but there was a list done proving and showing that there was over 50 network media top people, from CNN, ABC, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, NPR, like all these different news people that love Obama, all ended up working in his administration. Okay? So you got news and media people working in the government under Obama. And then over 8 years, what did they develop? They developed this massive machine and this massive system that basically turned the media into the fourth branch of government that then protected and covered up everything. They were able to get away with everything. Joe Biden went on the campaign trail and said they had no scandals. There's giant lists of scandals. It's just that the media helped cover it up. So people in the government went and worked for media. People in the media went and worked for government. And then for 8 years, they developed a propaganda machine that copies and duplicates what they've done in other countries where they don't have freedom of speech. In China, you get arrested and disappeared if you go onto a big public news platform and disobey and talk against the government. They're rioting in the streets right now because they're communist leaders. They're losing their rights even more than they already have. So initially, I was going to talk about today's hearing with the DNI guy. This guy is simply trying to convey that the phone call between Trump and the Ukraine president, newly elected Ukraine president, there was nothing done wrong. And what he's basically saying is it didn't rise to the level of anything to be having to be reported to Congress. And the fact that the Intelligence Committee and these other committees, these Democrat-led committees now, part of the House, are bringing these hearings and trying to bring this impeachment crap is all political theater, because they don't have anything to prevent Trump from winning. He's going to win in a landslide because they don't have anything. And instead what is going on is there's tons and tons and tons of evidence of corruption from the previous administration. And they need to cover all that up. And the only way they can cover it up is by allegations and accusations that result in hearings and tons and tons and tons and tons of media coverage that just engulfs everybody's minds and prevents its sleight of hand. It prevents everybody from thinking about the real corruption because they're thinking about the headlines. Here's the real corruption that they're covering up. What was the phone call really about? This is why people are so dumb. It's obvious that this was a chess move. The Ukrainian president says he wants to drain the swamp in his country. That country's corrupt. It has a history of corruption with American politicians. Joe Biden is on record talking to the CFR about what he did in threatening the previous president and the previous administration. Threatening to hold back over $1 billion in aid, military aid, if they don't fire the prosecutor that was already investigating the Bidens and John Kerry's son and the oil and gas company in Ukraine and the company in China that was paying those two young men, Biden's son and John Kerry's son, during Obama's term, during Hillary Clinton's term as the head of the State Department. The State Department was being used as a pay-for-play to have access. Her email server, the whole thing all ties together. Her email server was an open like Dropbox for these other leaders to pay to gain access to. And if they paid, they gained access to it, then they acquired state secrets that they could then utilize to blackmail people and take more shit over in this country. Selling us out, complete treason. John Kerry was part of it. His son was part of it. Joe Biden was part of it. And he admitted it to the CFR. And that's why it was a 4D chess move, the phone call. Because the phone call, the Ukraine president requested them to send over Giuliani so that they could work together. So that they could work together to investigate the corruption that was part of the previous both administrations, Ukraine and Obama, because they were extorting people for money, taking advantage of the fact that we give aid, and trying to hold that back. And then they're trying to say that that's what Trump was doing. No, the Trump and the Ukraine president are trying to expose it. And this phone call baited the Democrats into thinking Trump did something wrong. Meanwhile, the phone call points out the fact that the previous administrations, both of them, were doing something wrong. It exposes the left. And these Senate hearings and these Adam Schiffs and all these idiots, Jerry Nadler and Nancy Pelosi, both in 1998 during the Clinton impeachment proceedings, were against impeaching him because they said it was going to hurt the country because the facts weren't strong enough and da-da-da-da-da. And they knew that it wasn't going to go through in the Senate at the time was Democrat ran. Just the opposite of now. We have a Republican Senate. Impeachment's not going to go through. They know it, but they want the theater of the media headlines that work together with them hand in hand. The real collusion is the media and the Democrats working with other corrupt idiots all over the world who have been selling out this country. The exact thing Trump's been running, that he ran on, is what he's been saying, it's what he's been talking about. This is just a strategic way to get the media to talk about something that leads to the other side being the bad guys. It's multi-level. It's not, you can't just go, oh, what it is on the surface is what it is. No, what it is on the surface is a bait to get everybody talking about something that leads to show and prove and expose all the hearings you want. The people that are going to come over there and start getting questioned are going to talk about the facts. The fact is that the Ukraine president literally said that he copied a lot of what Trump did over there to get elected, because their country also is engulfed with corruption and they want to get rid of it. So patriotism, sovereignty, that's a big thing right now worldwide. The UK Prime Minister, same thing. People are tired of all these countries and all these globalist elites doing corrupt things across the world to screw over the small guy. So this phone call proves that both countries were already investigating the Bidens and the Kerry son and the connection to the corruption and the pay for play and all of that. Talk about election rigging. The election rigging was prior to Trump, when they were allowing other countries to spy on Americans to try to prevent them from winning the election. Trump and his campaign. Other countries were spying for the Obama administration. The Five Eyes. Look that up. 5 other countries that spy on us for us, because it's illegal for us to spy on us. So Trump is simply going, hey, you know that investigation y'all were already doing? Yeah, you know, we need to know about that. I'm the president. It's my job to protect my country from corruption, domestic and foreign. A president asking another president, let's work together. When really it was the Ukraine president asking Trump. But saying, hey, let's work together. Knowing that there's intelligence people listening. Now, the intelligence people listening, which happens on every call. Who leaked it? Who took that confidential information and leaked it? Was it Bolton, who had just got fired? That's the big deal. Not the content of the call and the context that the call is based on. It's diplomacy. Diplomacy between 2 presidents who want to end corruption to protect their people. This happening 2 days after the UN speech where he tells the entire world, we are not going to have it anymore. We are going to go after corruption. He says we are going to go after big tech for suppressing the truth. We are going to go after all of these dirty cops and these dirty politicians worldwide. These 2 presidents want to work together to make that happen. The phone call was them baiting the press and the left, and they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And now what is actually being exposed, it's called Machiavellian tactics. Trump's willing to take all the arrows and all the napalm for a little while what is surfacing is the truth, which is the previous administration working with other previous administrations to sell out their people. So, whenever y'all look at a headline, read the entire article. Whenever you see something posted, read the entire thing. Don't post it unless you read it. Watch the whole video. Go watch the Senate hearings. If you have an opinion on something, fantastic. Go get educated on that thing first. And y'all want to debate me on this kind of stuff, that's fine. But I'm going to be real. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to tell you my opinion. And if you're throwing insults at me, I'll tell you what, man. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It just proves that substance wins. Facts win. And when you don't have them and you get all sensitive and butthurt and you start trying to insult people's personal character, it doesn't help you look better. You know what I'm saying? I like doing this. I like sharing information, and you know what I mean? Like, if I start doing videos, I have a feeling that I'll be one of those people that gets shadow banned and censored. But if that's what it's going to take, because my small world of people on my friends list need to hear it, then that's what it is. That's the only reason I share stuff. And I have people that tell me that they like it. And then I have people that argue with me. That's fine. That's what it's all about. Freedom of speech, baby. So whatever. This is my first little video about this kind of stuff. May or may not do it. Y'all tell me. Should I keep making videos? Because, you know, that seems to be what people are doing now. And people are having to move off of YouTube and move off of Facebook because they're censoring and there's new platforms getting created, and that's what it is. It's the free market. So anyway, y'all let me know. Should I keep making videos? Does this stuff make sense? Is it something that I should build on? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Freedom of speech wins every time, though.